There's no reason why not.
Hello.
See them out.
Anybody there?
Hello, how are you?
Who's that?
That's Carrie.
Oh, Carrie, for goodness sake. Long time
Carrie,
no see. This is Ruth here.
Put
Oh,
on
there
my
you are.
face so you can see it. Yeah, usually people tell me to turn my camera off, so that's.
That's not the point of Zoom. You're supposed to be able to see everybody.
I'm just used to listening to my kids. That's all. Like, Dad, stop putting your camera on.
How many kids you got, Gary?
I have two. I have twins.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're 15.
15 years old or 15 months old?
15 years old. Yes. If it was 15 months, I'd probably be running for the hills at this point. I don't know if I can go through that again.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Must have been a really interesting experience bringing them up.
Yeah, it's been pretty wonderful. They're good kids. So
I got two wee grandkids who are 8 and 11.
Oh, wow.
So they're a joy for sure. They live on the Sunshine Coast, so I don't get to see them enough.
Oh, that's too bad.
Excuse me while I'm eating my soup as we're speaking. I just got in late.
Hi, it's Lori. I just joined.
Hey, Lori. Are you on the phone?
Yeah, I'm on the phone. I did have a note. Ken Foote will not be attending tonight, and Jen Donnell will not be attending tonight.
Come on, I want to see your face. Can you not push the video button?
Oh, I dialed in on the phone.
Oh, come on. It's kind of nice that we can see each other. But that's okay. Are we the only three?
No, there should be at least 8 on here right now. So you just have to move it along.
They're not showing their pretty faces either.
Maddie and Olivia were very close. It's just going to have to take time to get through her system.
I'm in Vancouver at the LGLA conference.
Oh,
Who's that?
LGLA, what does that stand for?
It stands for Local Government Leadership Academy. So I've been at some very exciting meetings all day.
Wow. A long day for you already, probably.
Darling, hold up. You never reached out before? Yeah, 2 years ago. But they basically figure it out yourself.
And now we have. Olivia did. We know when
Oh, there's a few more people.
What day? What time?
Hello, Pearl. Hi, Rich. How's that Australian smile?
Yeah, I shaved my beard off, so now my smile is completely different. But
last time I shaved my beard off, my wife told me she couldn't kiss me because she thought she was cheating on me. So
it wasn't through my choice, really. But I've been wearing a respirator this week, and I kind of felt shaving my face was the best plan. So
right, yeah, makes sense.
I hope not because you're sick.
So now it's time to finish.
No, just part of the renovation. We're removing some materials that needed a respirator. So
nasty asbestos stuff.
Pretty much that, and rat and squirrel urine and everything. So I find those kind of the cloth masks don't really do too much. It kind of trickles down the side. So
I'm happy that you're taking precautions. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
So in their case. Wow.
Is Pearl on?
Let me drop my bag.
I'm here.
Okay.
So usually for the first meeting, until we do the election of chair, the RDCK member would call the meeting to order and take attendance.
We spent too much money on this show already.
So that's you, Pearl.
Yep.
Would you like to do that,
Or
Pearl?
I can do it if you want, Pearl. I can also call the meeting to order.
I know. I have an answer. Violet
Up to you.
She died at court after drinking slam.
Oh, pardon me. Would I be able to take roll call, please? Real quick. Commissioner Dozenberger?
Yeah, Violet.
Present, yes.
Commissioner Volak?
What about Lydia? can talk about her.
No.
That she becomes a de facto plaintiff in the jury's hearts.
Commissioner Donnell,
We lean into
No.
Nope.
absence. He's lucky he had the chance to.
Commissioner Browser,
Prosser is my name and I'm here.
thank you. Commissioner McCulloch,
Will you will testify?
Commissioner Newton,
Of course.
Yeah, I'm here.
Director Graham,
Here, present.
and Commissioner Foot. Absent. Thank you.
It
And
looks
I
like
can
Elaine's just chimed in too.
Pardon me?
It looks like Elaine's just joined us.
Oh, here I go.
Perfect, but we only need one piece of direct
Is
evidence.
Jeff here too?
Slam finance those high school parties.
Yep.
Hi, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm here. Yep. I don't know if I unmuted myself there, but I'm here.
Too many resources have been spent already.
Was that your audio book there, Ruth?
I beg your pardon?
Was that your audio book in the background?
My audio book. Oh, sorry, that's the TV.
Those are,
I'll
Oh,
shut
okay,
off the
there-
TV. It's my constant companion. Somebody's got to talk to me when I live by myself. Sorry about that.
Would you like me to call the meeting to order? Okay,
yes,
I
and
call the
members,
meeting to,
members, sorry,
I-
members absent are Commissioner Foot and Commissioner Donnell.
thank you. And I'll call the meeting to order at 6:07 PM. And we're calling for nominations for the chair. And we call 3 times for nominations.
I'd like to make a nomination.
Okay,
Commissioner Prosser here. I'd like to nominate Laurie Dosenberger, who has done a sterling job forever and ever and needs to keep going.
is there any other nominations? Okay. Commissioner Dosenberger, do you accept the nomination?
Yes,
Then I'll ratify the appointment of Commissioner Dosenberger as Chair of the Sunshine Bay Regional Parks Commission for 2025. Thank you.
thank you.
Mhm.
I'd like to acknowledge and respect the Indigenous peoples within those traditional lands we are meeting today. I would like to adopt the agenda as sent out to everyone. Do we have someone to move and second?
Yeah, I'll move that, Rich.
Thank you.
I could second. Ruth?
Thank you. Receipt of minutes, the November 14th, 2024 Sunshine Bay Regional Park Commission meeting minutes have been received. Number
Rich,
4,
again, I'll move, to say we've received them.
Thank you. Number 4, delegate. There are no delegates scheduled for this meeting, commission meeting. 5, staff reports. Sunshine Bay Regional Park Operations Update. Jeff Phillips, Regional Parks Operations Supervisor, to provide the Commission with a verbal update re the Sunshine Bay Regional Park Operations.
Oh, can you hear me there?
Yes, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Excellent.
Can't see you though, Jeff.
Yeah. Well, I can turn my camera on. I just got my cell phone. I got issued a.
You muted yourself.
I don't know. How about now? Is it working?
Can hear you, but not see you.
Yeah. I just.
Yeah, you muted yourself again there, Jeff.
Yeah. I don't press the button. It's just going automatically back to mute. That's interesting.
Well, talk fast.
Oh yeah, no, it's, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, because it actually says on my screen, your microphone is muted.
Yeah.
This
No,
is
we
strange.
can hear you.
Okay. All right. Maybe I won't bother with the camera right now. Just someone say something if I stop talking.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you, Lori, for stepping forward again as our chair. It's great to have the whole team back here. Yeah, so we've had a fairly busy winter with the new outhouse. We're already having to pump it. We're pumping it next Tuesday, I believe, the vault. So that's extremely quick, even for for a busy park like that. Tagum doesn't need to get pumped that quickly. So that's a good sign, I suppose, that it's getting a lot of use and sort of Scott's noticing the usage of the consumables and things like that. So we did have lots of park usage through the winter. And now that spring started, Scott's right out back at her. We had another dock wash up on the beach there, this time on the actual like swimming part of the beach, not far off on the Crown Land portion. So we sort of had to deal with that right away. So that's all been disposed of, cut up, and the styrofoam has been properly disposed, and the woods on the burn pile drying out, and we'll deal with that as things as we get some more tree work done and things like that. The bigger item for this year is replacing the storage door there where the tractor's kept. And we've made the order for the door. It's going to be a much more secure sort of self-storage door, roll-up door. We had that attempted break-in last year on the 2 storage buildings, and that's concerning for us, especially with the expensive equipment we have there. So we're looking forward to securing that a little better, and then obviously being able to store the lawnmower with the blower on and the bagger system on all the time. So we've made the order. We got to get everything out of there because we have some demo work to expand the opening of that door before we can have the install done. So there will be some action at the park over the next few weeks, and I guess don't be surprised when you see that area fully open. We'll have everything out of there, but we got to pull the existing door, so it'll just be an open space. We'll do our best to secure it and keep the public out of there, but it will be it'll be a little shocking with all that open air. So that's going to be happening over the next few weeks. We'll probably have the door in Nelson at the end of the month, the end of March, early April. So the install could happen sometime in April once we get done. And like I said, that's I guess the quote unquote bigger ticket item for the year. Yeah, I think that covers it for the start of the season here for us. Yeah, unless anyone has any questions, I think that's basically it.
Commissioner Dosenberger, I was just wondering if possibly, I think previously we had 2 holes for the pit toilets, so that could be adding to more frequent pumping also, because now we only have 1, correct? And it's probably about the same size as a single one, or is it a larger?
Yeah, it's considerably larger than those 2. Those 2 were just, those 2 were about 20-inch pipes, 24-inch pipes sunk about 5 feet down. I didn't actually measure it, but this is a 750-gallon tank. We've installed. Wow. Yeah, they're the same as we've installed at all the installations that I've been part of. So they're similar to Tagum, Cottonwood, Belford, Crescent Valley Beach. So we have a fairly good idea of when we need to pump things. They're all the same. They're all sealed the same, and this is rather quick. I'd say maybe similar or faster than Tagum, and that's shocking for usage. Tagum gets really intense usage. This is, I think, just like the more consistent usage at Sunshine Bay. Scott observes, people just coming through there all the time and driving. And I've seen it lots too. People just literally just come in, use the bathroom and leave, which whatever, it's a public bathroom.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I think some of the businesses like the delivery for Save On Foods, they're there every day. And sometimes if they're out twice a day, they might be there twice a day. But I think it's handy for people like that, that now they know even contractors, now they know there's a washroom in the area.
yeah. Scott mentioned a food truck. So that must be what he's talking about, is a
Right,
Save On food
yes.
truck. But anyway, it's not a bad thing. The pumping costs,
Good.
we've been using a company out of Salmo recently, and Beaver Septic, and they do it competitively. It's not, and they're very responsive, and it's just I guess part of offering that service.
I did have one question about those toilets. Mentioning that it's happening quicker. Is that maybe the toilets are in a much nicer state, so they're getting more usage? Is that what we're seeing? If the smaller tanks before weren't being pumped as often as this one seems like it'll need to. Is that a fair assumption?
Absolutely, and we see that throughout the park system. Our most recent upgrade is Bigelow in New Denver. It went from an old rec site, small thing to our our much nicer, and we see the usage go up. And Sunshine Bay was, if we recall, the other one was in pretty poor shape and definitely wasn't the most welcoming facility.
Right.
So yeah, certainly there's Rich, you're absolutely correct. When we see massive increase when we make an improvement like this.
It's Carrie here, and through the chair, I would suggest that the old washrooms weren't necessarily fully sealed either.
Ah,
Yeah, and I think with Market Fest happening too, they'd load up faster with all the traffic from that.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great point, Lori. Yeah.
So that when you think of it, there's usually quite a few people down there, so quite a bit of activity going on, which is good. We want to see more activity, right?
Certainly. Scott has mentioned that Naomi is planning on running it again there at the park. We haven't got the formal application yet, I don't believe, Carrie, but the intention's there.
I think it'll be great to have, because we've had lots of positive feedback about it being down there. So I think that's great if they do have it again this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, through the chair, Naomi last year said that she was hoping to come back. I haven't heard from her yet, but our expectation is that she likely will.
Question about sorry about the market there. It's and obviously seeing how last year went. Is there anything that we think could be changed or improved or anything from a parks point of view? If we noticed anything that could be improved.
I haven't, Rich. I haven't received any feedback from Naomi, and we certainly made that very clear to her that through the first few weeks, if she felt that there was some things that we should change or tweak or add, or she never really came forward with anything. So and I haven't really heard any feedback either from the public on that.
Okay, thanks.
Just want to throw in here that the only feedback I had from the public was all positive. I didn't hear any complaints whatsoever. And I'm usually the first person that people like to complain to.
Yeah, well, that's very good to hear, Cheryl.
and the maintenance of the grounds was also commented upon. Scott's wonderful work keeping the place immaculate was noticed for sure.
Yeah. Scott definitely sets a standard that we try to achieve throughout.
Mm-hmm. And are there Are there still poplars? Is there still being work done on the poplars, or is that done now for a while?
The Lombardies, we did do another round
Sorry,
last year.
Lombardies.
Yeah, no, it's okay. That's Lombardi
Yeah, you
poplars.
knew what I meant.
Yeah, I did.
They
Yeah,
are
for sure.
poplars. They are poplars.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so we did another round last year. And we'll see what greens up this year. We every year we hope that's it and everything, and we try to give more life by cutting off some of the dead growth, and it seems like there's more and more sort of dead growth that appears every year. So so it's on we'll see when spring hits here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See what's left and what pops back up.
Yeah.
I think since the beginning of time, every year there's a lot of dead wood falling, so I think we have to expect that to continue as long as they're there.
Yeah.
I have some good news on the Friends of Kootenay Lake front. They are moving forward, and they have a number of volunteers and helpers now. And they're also working with the what do they call themselves? CKIS, the hazardous plant material people who do the pulling of the broom, etc. They have singled out the canary grass down at the wetlands, and they're going to make a concerted effort to see what can be done to get rid of the canary grass. It may require a number of years to cover it with cardboard or fabric, fiber cloth, whatever that stuff's called, the black stuff. But it's a very invasive plant, so it will take a lot of work to get rid of it, even if it's only on a small amount. But they plan to plant native species to grow up and choke it out with any luck. So that's really positive. I just got a note yesterday, so I haven't had time to disseminate it to you guys, but I will do that. But anyway, that's the good news. Our wetland is going to be looked after some more, which is great.
I want to throw into that too, because they contacted me as well, asking a question regarding permits. And I forwarded them to the planning department. And now in hindsight, I probably should have maybe forwarded them to you, Carrie. So I will now take that, because when anybody says permits, I just automatically go planning. So I will get that email and I'll forward it to you as well, just so that you're in the loop there. But there was a little concern there, because if it's within the 15 meters of the water in area E, I don't know if they're what they're doing. Maybe it requires a permit, maybe it doesn't. But now that Ruth has brought this up, I'm gonna get on my email right now and forward it to you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. And through the chair, it would be great, Ruth, as well, if you can either provide me an email, so a contact that I can get, because really anything that's being done down there should be actually going through us, right? There should be a conversation with us. Obviously, we're supportive of these things. We were supportive from the very beginning, and we'll continue to support it. But it also allows us to say where we can offer help, right? Is there a place that we, with some of our staff who have experience, we do have, once we get into the budget, I'll just, sort of show something there on, invasives and things like that. Obviously, we work close with CKIS, and, have worked closely with, other partnerships around the lake as well. So just anything that's being done generally would have to come through us at the regional district, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. And again, where we can support and where we can help the activities that are going on there. So that's really the great process. And anything with permits and stuff like that, we can help. We have Mark Crow on our parks staff. I mean, Mark is our parks planner, and he's really well versed on all of just the permitting that might need to happen around the lake in the different electoral areas.
Don't you also have to know who's working in the park for insurance purposes when something's going on?
Yeah, that's kind of that's why I think usually we would have to know. And ultimately what we would do is just try to make sure that we're, there's insurance, which I know they would have anyway, but it's just so that if someone ever got hurt, if there was something happening. So yeah, it's all about, I mean, you know, as we get into the years and times of risk and liability, again, you know, we would always support these sort of things, but it's just making sure that we understand what's actually happening, and there's permissions to do that as well, right? So
through
Okay,
the
I'll
chair, I
make
just
sure you,
said that. Sorry, I just sent you the email, Carrie, so you have it.
thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll make sure you get those names, Carrie, too, and the latest ideas from those people.
perfect.
Sound
Yeah.
very positive.
Yeah, again, absolutely. And I'm, you know, as I say, with my background in biology, I obviously always care about that sort of stuff. So I would love to see more of that sort of thing around the lake. But where can we help? And we just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. And then I can relate back, I can report back to not only this commission, but I can report back to the board, which then, you know, may have, you know, opportunities even within our own regional district of those that might be able to help or even volunteer.
That we do.
Thanks, everyone. If there's no more questions regarding park operations, then we'll move on to Sunshine Bay Regional Park Budget Update. Jeff Phillips, Regional Park Operations Supervisor, to provide the Commission with verbal overview of Sunshine Bay Regional Park Budget, service number S202, which has been received.
Yeah, thank you, Lori. Carrie's going to take this one on today because
Okay.
he's been working so hard with the budget. That's okay. He's been working. This is definitely his. He's right into this neck deep in these budgets through all the parks, and he knows it a lot better. And I think he can explain it better. Yeah.
Yeah. So through the chair, thanks, Jeff. And so I'll just, I mean, I know everybody probably knows the process, but the process generally is, you know, we have our, you know, meetings here with this commission in the fall. We look at things that we want to do, some of the things that we need to do. And then what happens is that Jeff and I sit down, you know, we talk about the overall, you know, budget through all of our parks. And in this situation, it's S202, and that's the service area. So that service area entails Salmo, the municipality of the city of Nelson, and then electoral areas E, F, and G. So all of those areas are, you know, part of what pay for all of these parks. You know, we sit and discuss, and, you know, so we do try to take a look at the overall budget. And I know we've always tried to be pretty fiscally responsible in a lot of the things that we do. So we do look at things and sort of what is coming up, what do we need? And so we provided this for what this is called Sunshine Bay. It's the work orders OPR 288. So just so that if everyone has that on their screen or that had it part of the agenda, you'll see kind of we have salaries and insurance and license contracts, repairs, maintenance, operating equipment, utilities, vehicles, rentals, and any capital expenditures. So the $21,000 that you see there, that's the salaries. So we had it budgeted last year for $18,000, and as you know, we didn't actually start the Scott as an employee until sometime after March. So, you know, there's a time frame there that we really didn't have him. Now that he's there all year round, and I think everybody understands how amazing Scott has been and what he keeps that park at. It is a gem for everybody to be able to go and look at how amazing that park has been taken care of. We know in the past when we put this out for contract, it was into the $30,000 stuff. So, you know, you'll have to excuse me for 1 second.
Fire. Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess Scott could ask for a raise then.
Yeah, well, I mean, he gets the CPI, so he will get a little bit this year. But yeah, my apologies, my pot of rice just went off there. So, so yeah, you know, we're just really happy that Scott has the dedication and, you know, the knowledge and the will to do such a great job. So I know every time I go there, I talk to a lot of people. There's always comments about how nice it's taken care of. So we're really pleased at that. And again, so when we have the salaries, this doesn't only include the Sunshine Bay right in, where you guys are, it also includes the riding grounds, and it also includes the Proctor Wharf. So, maintenance and cleanup and things like that are there. We do have a little bit of funds in there for invasive work. And so we have Jen Bergeron on staff. She's a seasonal employee, but she's a horticulturist, and she's also a invasive species specialist. She's worked with CKIS a lot. So she does lots of work around the regional district for us in different areas. And we know that there's broom, we know there's other stuff. The canary grass is something that I was aware of. So yeah, so that just includes a little bit in there. I think there's $2,000 we have total for all of the area for some of that work that Jen would be doing. The insurance, funny enough, insurance has gone up all over the place. A couple of years ago, the insurance was about $50. Last year it was $666. So we also know that it'll probably go up a little bit. So that's our insurance. License and permits. At this point, actually, that number, we knew our license was coming up, but in the past, they kind of bill us, kind of every year. They did one lump sum. So we've paid that already. It was actually $1,500. But that's okay. We'll deal with that as through, when we see at the very end of the year. But that's a 10-year license of occupation. And so if anyone does know, they're basically the area in front of the beach and the park itself where the field is, that's actually a license with the Ministry of Transportation or BC Transportation Finance Authority. All of the land outside on either side is all the fee simple owned land by the regional district. So we have to pay a license to that. And it usually comes up every 10 years. So that has come up and it's been now signed. So we have that as a license for the next 10 years. Obviously it continues, but it's just they don't like to have it more than 10 years. Then again, the contracted service, we have stuff in there for tree work. That's a big thing for us. Just making sure that I think the willow trees are probably coming due for a little trim sometime in the near future as well. Once they start kind of getting down close to the ground and things like that, we usually get it trimmed up. And if I do remember last time, it was AAA Tree Service that did it. And once they cut all of the branches off, I thought, oh no, they just kind of killed it. But little did I know how fast it comes back. So
comes right back. And I remember quite a few people commented after it was done, and it was like, boom, it all came back in no time.
Right. Yeah.
But I actually walked down there the other day, and I was thinking that exact thing when I was down there, that, I guess we're going to have to get the willows done again, because they are starting to hang down again now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. So that's why we had a little bit in there. And obviously the repairs and maintenance, that's really what that part is there. The storage room improvement, irrigation head replacement, there's a few there that need done. And what's cut off there is actually, we have one more line of fencing at the riding grounds to finish. We've finished most of it, where we've taken down all of the barbed wire fencing that was there, and we have one more line to do. So I'll be happy when that's done, because it's always something that's kind of bothered me a little bit. Having anything with barbed wire these days is a very high risk. So we'll be able to get that done, which will be great on our end. And so that will be done by our seasonal staff and our other full-time work staff. So that was one thing to note as well. One of the big changes for our parks department was that, we've been running 2 seasonal employees for a long time. And as you know, we've kind of keep increasing a lot of our parkland. We're now over 600 hectares of land that we manage throughout the regional district. And one of our seasonal employees was made into a full-time employee. So that's throughout the regional district. Of course, that's, spread out throughout. But it is something that that we're very happy about, because it relieves us from a lot of the stuff in many areas that we don't have someone like Scott to be looking after things all the time, is helping out there. So they'll be doing most of that work, fencing, and then just the operating supplies and some equipment and our hydro. And that's really about it for this budget for this year. I don't know if anyone has any questions or comments. I'm happy to answer.
I'm wondering if there was any issue with water pipes freezing up over there?
Through the chair, as far as I know, there are no pipes. They do a pretty good, well, they being Jeff and Scott do a really good job of making sure that that is, drained completely. We used to get Selkirk Irrigation to blow the lines for us, but I think we've been able to get the machine, get a machine and blow the lines ourselves. Jeff, maybe you can let me know if I'm incorrect, but we're able to blow the lines. I think it's been pretty good.
Yeah, this last year we did use Selkirk again. Just he had the air compressor, and the Index it was rented out for the time we needed it.
Good to know there are people like that for us private landowners with issues.
Mm-hmm.
Through the chair, Carrie, I'm just wondering why the income section is not completed on this report.
Yeah, so with that, because this is part of the bigger budget, and all we really tried to do for this is pull out the Sunshine Bay one, and that comes with when you have the S202. So you remember when we have our Nelson Samuel Commission meeting, that comes out in the overall big one, and it doesn't necessarily print out here because we would have the income. And for each park, you might have a little bit of the surplus. That doesn't always come out until late February, as it is. So that won't necessarily show up on this, but there is an income. Well, I'm pretty sure in there for the rental income, similar to what we were sort of expecting to have if we had the market back.
Okay, so I've got the S202 draft budget out, and it's the one that's coming to the board on Thursday. I have it open, and there's nothing in it for rental income or specified rental income. So either one of those.
Okay.
So I will actually be bringing that then. Do you want me to bring it to you, or do you want me to bring it to Joe? Because that should have something in it for this budget.
Yeah, bring it to Joe and I if we don't have a income in there. And so sometimes in the past, like again, I thought I had something in there because we were hoping that should be back, but often in certain times we might not put an income in. This one I thought that I did, but if I didn't, then that was my mistake. A lot of times, depending on what it is, so say at a campground, we would have an estimated, because usually that income's there. Other times I know we used to put income in here, and I think Elaine will vouch. We used to have a fair number of park use permits and things like that where we're having rentals, and really since COVID and things like that, we didn't have many, and so we were putting in about $500 or $700 worth of income, and then it didn't come, and then when it doesn't come, and then you end up running the potential of having a deficit in that if you don't, right? If that income doesn't arrive.
Are there any bookings coming up for this year?
Yeah, through the chair, we don't have any other than the market. That is a maybe, right? I mean, until someone really puts something in, we don't know. So normally for a rental specified, again, I might put $500 in there, and because you just don't know, right? And if you're banking on that as part of your budget and it doesn't happen, so unless someone's really sent me something from the year before and we know it's a returning thing, and or they've already put in for that, so you can kind of say, okay, I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. Often, in certain parks we might not put anything because nothing's guaranteed unless we get it, right? If that makes sense.
Yep. I think there was one other budget item. I don't know if it's on a miscellaneous list that Commissioner Bullock brought forward, that the basketball backstop needed to be replaced. Am I correct, Commissioner Bullock?
Just 1 second. I'm actually looking at the bookings for Sunshine Bay Park for 2025 because I thought maybe there was one, but maybe not here. I'm sorry, what was your question, Laurie?
I believe you had sent in a request to have the baseball backstop or sorry, not
Oh,
baseball.
oh yeah, the half court
basketball.
backstop.
The half court. The half court. Sorry.
Half court
Half
backstop.
court basketball. So
Right.
Yeah,
That
that-
really needs a little refurbishing, like another coat of plywood maybe put on. I'm not sure how many sheets of plywood it is right now, but it's not very many.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and through the chair, we can certainly look at that from our staff just doing that, right? So, and that's where some of that would be, where we have that. Obviously, we can schedule to do things throughout the year. Things come up, for waterhead breaks, or you end up having again, an irrigation head. So generally, we will make sure that we have, a couple extra $100 in there in case something like that happens. Because if you don't, then again, we'll want to make sure that we're able to do that stuff.
Getting kind of weathered now in several years.
Yep.
Thank you. Do any of the commission members have any other questions at this time for budget? I'd like to call for questions from the public at 6:41 p.m. If there's any members of the public that would like to ask questions. I'd like to move to next meeting. The next Sunshine Bay Regional Parks Commission meeting is scheduled for June 12th, 2025 at 6 p.m. If there are no further questions from commission members or members in attendance, I'd like to adjourn the meeting. The Sunshine Bay Regional Parks Commission meeting be adjourned at 6:42.
BD meeting.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good
Thanks,
night.
everyone.
Thanks, Carrie.
Thank you.
See ya.
Yeah, see you next
Good night.
time. Bye.
Good night.
Thanks.